Hey y'all, welcome back to Doozy Talks with Susie, where we keep it real about fitness, nutrition, mindset, and how to live in sync with your body and your purpose. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like this? You're doing everything right, you're eating clean, you're working out, you're checking off the to-do list. You're trying to keep a good attitude, but you still feel tired, and not just physically tired, but emotionally, mentally, hormonally exhausted. Your brain feels foggy. Your mood is all over the place. You wake up more tired than when you went to bed. And even though you're pushing harder than ever, you're gaining weight or feeling more bloated. What gives? For the longest time, I'll be honest, I thought I was just lazy, or maybe I didn't have enough willpower. Maybe I wasn't working out hard enough. But it turns out I was actually working too hard in the wrong way. And the reason why, my body is not built like a man's, and if you're a woman, neither is yours. So today we're diving deep into why women burn out faster than men, and more importantly, what to do about it. Let's start with something almost no one talks about when it comes to women's health and fitness: your hormones and your genes. So men's bodies follow this 24-hour hormonal rhythm. Testosterone, it peaks in the morning and then crashes at night. And that pattern resets every day. So almost every fitness program, productivity plan, diet strategy, and even workplace expectations is built on the assumption that our bodies function in the same way, but they don't. Women's bodies run on a monthly rhythm. Estrogen, progesterone, cortisol fluctuate based on where we are in our menstrual cycle, and that means our energy, mood, metabolism, motivation, and even how we respond to stress all changes week by week. Let's take cortisol, for example. It's the hormone that spikes when you're stressed or overdoing it. In small doses, it's helpful. It wakes us up, helps us focus, helps us run from danger, but in excess, it steals your sleep. It stores belly fat, inflames your gut, crashes your mood, and fries your brain. And guess what? Some of us have genes that make it harder to clear out that cortisol once it spikes. I found out through my DNA testing that I have mutations in a gene called COMT, or COMT, and it breaks down cortisol, dopamine, and estrogen, but mine works slower than normal. So when I get stressed out, those hormones may linger. I stay wired, my body stays inflamed, my nervous system doesn't bounce back easily. So imagine me doing intense workouts 6 days a week, running an hour a day, pushing through fatigue, eating super clean, and still feeling like a mess. It wasn't a discipline problem. It was a mismatch between my biology and my lifestyle. And if you've ever felt like something's off, but labs come back normal, or people say, you're just tired, don't worry about it, it could be your genes and hormones telling a story that your doctors aren't listening to. And maybe that's something you should look into. We live in this culture that glorifies the hustle. Just push through it. No excuses. Pain is weakness leaving the body. Sleep is for the weak. And I used to say those things, honestly. But here's the problem with that. It was built not for us. More for the male hormonal system, not for women. And I remember waking up some days after a hard workout, body aching, eyes burning from poor sleep, but thinking, well, I have to do it again or I'll fall behind. I didn't want to seem lazy or soft. I had internalized that rest equals failure, but here's what I've learned. Pushing through when your hormones are tanking doesn't build strength. It builds dysregulation. Overtraining doesn't just affect muscles. It affects your adrenals, your thyroid, and your gut. And undereating doesn't actually make you leaner when your body's stuck in survival mode. It makes you fatter, moodier, and more inflamed. Because think about it this way. Your body is thinking we're stuck on an island, a deserted island with no food in sight. So we need to keep every little thing that we eat because we're barely eating and we need to survive. So everything gets stored as fat to help you survive. And I was trying to beat my body into submission. And my body was just trying to survive. And I know I'm not the only one who's like this. There's so many women who come to me saying things like, I'm eating less, but I'm gaining weight. I'm working out harder, but I feel more bloated. I'm trying everything and nothing's working. If that's you, I'm telling you, it's not a willpower issue. It's a wiring issue. Your body isn't weak. It's probably overloaded. So what do we do about it? First, we stop copying strategies that were designed for male biology. Then we start tuning into our own rhythms, signals, and DNA. And I'm just going to give a little plug for DNA test right here. Everybody should get their genes tested. This is something you only have to ever do once in your life. And it's like reading the owner manual for how your body functions. Because each body is different. We each need different nutrients. We each need different ways of exercising. We need different ways of eating, patterns of exercise, sleep patterns, caffeine metabolism. There's so many little things that plays a role in all of this. And you need to be able to see what your body is saying for you. And there are lots of different DNA tests you can get. But especially if you're looking into fitness and you're struggling with your fitness, find a DNA fitness test. Get tested, please. It is life-changing. So let me tell you though, here's what helped me shift out of the burnout and into more balance. I started off, and understand, ladies, you probably know what I'm talking about here, but I started syncing my workouts to my cycle, and that's not something you can do in just 1 month. I'm talking about 6 months of document so that I can find exactly what my rhythm looks like. And in the first half of my cycle, the follicular and ovulation, I have more estrogen and energy. Women in general, that's how it is. And that's when I strength train, heavy. And I'll do moderate cardio, and I go heavier. That's when I start increasing weights. I know some people, they're like, oh, increase weights every 1 or 2 weeks. Well, for women, it doesn't work that way. In the second half, the luteal and the menstrual, I reduce intensity. I walk more. I focus on stretching. I focus on mobility and recovery. Because during that time, this is whenever I would find myself really struggling. And I did this for years, people. Don't judge. There's no judgment on my part to anybody who's been through the same struggles. I would be doing really good. 2 weeks, consistently, running hard, feeling great. Then I hit a wall for some reason, and I can't get my regular rhythm going for the runs for the next week or two. And I'm like, dude, what's wrong with me? That was my hormones trying to communicate that I was doing a little too much, and I need to take it easy. So in the second half, I reduce the intensity. I focus on walking more. I stretch. When I do strength training, I go light because I want to focus on making sure that I'm not putting any extra stress on my joints. And I want to make sure that I don't put too much stress on my muscles either, because my body already has enough going on during that phase. So that alone actually has improved my sleep. It's improved my mood and my fat loss. I have not felt so well. This has been my best month of my life. Just going to put it that way. Putting in all of this effort of understanding exactly how my body's working. Then, number 2, I focused on eating for stability, not scarcity. So I used to skip meals or undereat, thinking it would speed up results, but all it did was spike my cortisol and slow my metabolism. And here's what would happen. I might lose weight because my body's like, there's nothing here, and you suddenly stop feeding us how we normally would eat. And so you lose weight, but then it all starts creeping back in, and you're like, and there's still a lot of, the fat didn't really go anywhere. And you're going, what happened? What's going on? The cortisol was going up, metabolism was slowing down, and that's just how our bodies work. I also prioritize my proteins and fats at every meal. Plus, sometimes I'll throw in some low-carb veggies that don't wreck my gut because I've got gut sensitivity issues. So most of what I eat, though, is going to be proteins and fats. Then I started phasing out dairy and foods. I know I've said in other videos I eat the A2 milk. I started phasing those out, though, to see if my body is going to do better or with it. I can make a follow-up video on that because I've tried a bunch of different stuff. And with my other food sensitivities, it's hard to find non-dairy milk that works for me. So I'm in another testing phase on that. I'll let you guys know how that goes. But I started phasing out dairy and also foods that are high in sulfur and lectins because those were making me inflamed. Like those, I eat those, my stomach hurts, I'm bloated. It's a terrible situation. And then I stopped fearing the food and started asking what my body actually needs because I started noticing my body is trying to tell me what I need. It is trying to communicate what nutrients I need. And so I started focusing on that, trying to give my body exactly what it needed and not just whatever my brain said I wanted, because ice cream tastes great and I love my ice cream. I do eat ice cream from time to time, but that's not my body saying I need ice cream. It means I need something else because ice cream is not actually good for you. The next thing I did, I supported my body based on my genetics. So I started taking glycine, magnesium, taurine, and B vitamins, the methylated B vitamin, because of my MTHFR mutations. I take methylated ones. And this was to help support stress recovery. And I added calcium D-glucarate for hormone detox, but I don't take that all the time. That's a short period of time every month to help with the hormone detox. And then I stopped over supplementing and focused only on what my body needs. Some people just take it for the sake of taking a vitamin. No, there's actually things that your body specifically needs. And then I redefined my rest. Rest used to feel like failure. So this was the mental aspect of I needed to reframe my thinking on it. Rest used to feel like failure. If I took a day off, I was a failure. I was not doing my best. Even if I decided to walk on a day I would normally run, then I would feel like I was a failure. But now that I understand how the female body works, dude, this is just a strategy to keep my body functioning on optimal levels. And then I use my downtime to support recovery. So then it's guilt-free. This is literally my recovery, and this is going to help my body, and I actually feel so much better. Because when women honor their recovery, they perform better and not worse. Like I said, this has been the best month that I've had. I've been able to increase weights. I've been able to feel good during my exercises, and I'm a lot stronger now. So these changes didn't just fix my energy. They helped me finally lean out. They balanced my hormones, and I'm able to enjoy life again. But more importantly, they gave me back my self-trust, because when you stop seeing your body as a problem to fix and start listening to it like a friend, everything changes. So here's the truth I want you to walk away with today. If you deal with the same stuff, understand your body is not broken. You are not lazy. You are not falling behind. You've just been trying to live in a system that wasn't designed for you, and you're finally waking up to the fact that your body was built with wisdom. You just have to learn to read it. You don't need to hustle harder. You need to train smarter. Eat smarter, rest smarter, in a way that matches your biology. If this message hit home for you today, just leave a comment. Tell me what part spoke to you the most. I'd love to hear your story. And if you want more help understanding your DNA, your cycle, and how to support your body in a way that actually works, be sure to subscribe, because I've got videos coming that break down the exact gene pathways, supplement strategies, and movement plans I use and teach. Until next time, be kind to your body. She's been carrying a lot, and she's doing her best to protect you.